Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today I'm going to be putting in some footage of the Arkansas floodwaters. You can see it on both sides of the road here on the video. At one point, 50 highways were closed in the state of Arkansas due to flooding. We've had some really crazy weather here lately. And the saying goes in Arkansas, if you don't like the weather, just stick around till tomorrow because it's surely to change. And the subject of today, though, is not really the floodwaters here. It's just giving you something visually to look at while I talk to you. The subject is on Friday, April 11th, 2025, Arkansas passes a bill fining truckers who cannot speak English sufficiently. Now, this bill started out as HB 1569 in the state of Arkansas. And give you a little history of this. Two trucking company owners petitioned the state to do something about immigrant truck drivers and all of the wrecks that were happening in the state of Arkansas, all of the devastation that they were leaving on the highways. And this pertained to just the city, or just the state, rather, of Arkansas. This is not a national thing, but there will be something here that I want to speak about later on in this video about the nation. So this HB 1569, the history of it was filed on February 24th, 2025, and February 25th it was read for the first time, rules suspended, read the second time, and referred to the Committee on Public Transportation, the House. This is in Arkansas, the timeline of this 1569. On March 12th, placed on a secondary reading for the purpose of amendment. March 13th or 12th also, amendment number 1 read and adopted, and the bill ordered engrossed. On the 12th again, March 12th, reported correctly engrossed. And on the 7th, March the 7th, it was withdrawn by author. So, what happened here? Well, what happened was these two trucking company owners were trying to get this bill passed, and I'll put up a screenshot here of what the original bill stated, what it was originally about. You can pause the video and read it for what it originally was. The ATA, the Arkansas Trucking Association, stepped in and said the bill went too far. And if it was not withdrawn as is, then the ATA, Arkansas Trucking Association, was going to petition to make it fully legal for all CDL holders in the United States to possess a CDL and not be required to read, write, and speak English. Now, a little bit of back history about that. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, you have to remember these are rules and regulations coming out of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. They are not, I will repeat, they are not laws. They are rules and regulations. But the ATA, corporate trucking companies, and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration thinks they can dictate everything that goes on in the United States pertaining to CDLs and trucking. They look at it as they are the dictators of trucking. They don't answer to anyone other than themselves, and what they say goes. When we put our foot down, that is the law of the land. That's the way these people look at it. Well, apparently, after a little consideration of the ATA and their threats, I guess you could call it, Arkansas House then reintroduced a bill calling it HB 1745 instead of HB 1569. And this bill was introduced to the Arkansas House, and it was overwhelmingly voted 82-0 in the Arkansas House. It was passed after clearing the Senate unanimously last week. In addition to an English proficiency provision for CDL holders, the bill also makes false or improper documentation a felony for foreign domiciled truck drivers. Once the bill is signed into law, anyone operating a commercial vehicle must exhibit English proficiency. Truck drivers must be able to show that they can read and speak English sufficiently to converse with the general public, understand highway traffic signs and signals in English, respond to official inquiries, and make entries on reports and records. The first fine will be $500 and $1,000 for each offense after the first. The bill also goes after foreign-based truck drivers who either possess a false CDL or do not have proper documentation. One provision will make presenting a false foreign CDL a Class D felony that also applies to any public record. So, Arkansas apparently did not heed the threats of the ATA, and they went on passing this bill. It is now at the governor's desk, and I'm quite sure Governor Huckabee Sanders will sign the bill into law. We will wait and see what happens with that. It just passed last Friday, but my guess is that Governor Huckabee Sanders will sign it into law. Now, what I was wanting to talk about also was there's been a buzz around YouTube and around trucking groups that I have read online that says this Arkansas bill was a compromise and it does not go far enough. It's good news, but it is a bill of compromise and it doesn't go far enough. Well, I have a rebuttal to this. I was born in the state of Arkansas. I have lived in the state of Arkansas my entire life. I currently live in Arkansas now. And I can tell you one thing right here and right now. I have also been a truck driver for 25 years. and I came from a long family history of truck drivers. Truck drivers always look at the pessimistic side of anything. They look at the glass half empty instead of the glasses half full. They will piss and moan about everything, every subject that is brought up. They look at all of the negative sides before they ever even consider looking at a positive side of anything whatsoever. So it doesn't, it doesn't surprise me that the buzz going around is a pessimistic tone to this bill coming from truck drivers. Well, there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you here. First of all, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration first introduced this themselves. It is in the rules and regulation guidelines for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. They brought it up. They were the ones that introduced this. They were the ones that passed it and set the rules of conduct, being you must be able to read, write, and speak English. Then they came back and said, we will leave it, but we will not authorize anyone to enforce our own rules. Seems a little contrary to me. So when Arkansas tried to enforce the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration rules, they were met by the ATA, and the ATA is a lobbyist group that serves on behalf of all major corporate carriers in the United States. The mega carriers, as we call them. So, what is going on here? Why is the ATA standing up for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, saying we will go down there and we will block this bill from being passed, or we will try to block it from being passed? Well, the answer is very simple. They are not in favor of foreign truck drivers. They are not in favor of having illegals on the road. They are not in favor of having non-English speaking truck drivers on the road. But what they are in favor of, and when I say they, I mean corporate trucking companies, the mega carriers, the ATA, and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, all three of these people, these groups, are in favor of cutting out the competition through small trucking companies, independents, and owner-operators, and they've seen what type of devastation these immigrant truck drivers have done to small trucking companies. Small trucking companies have been slammed in the last few years as immigrant truck driver population has increased. I have heard somewhere between 800,000 and 1.2 million immigrant truck drivers are on the roadway today. And the ATA is saying they're okay with that. And the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is saying they're okay with not enforcing their own rules and regulations. And the corporate trucking companies are still supporting the ATA and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Can you put 1 and 1 and 1 together? They equal 3. The Three Musketeers. All for one and one for all. That's what these guys are. It's what they're all about. Anything to put down the competition. And then once the immigrants get to the point where it's just the mega carriers and the immigrants, then they're going to turn on the immigrants. It's the way they work. It's the way these people work. Anything to make the mega carriers get bigger, quicker is what they are about. And Arkansas just blocked them. Now, you can be a pessimistic truck driver and you can look at the glass half empty and you can say Arkansas didn't do enough. They didn't do enough. Why didn't you do more, Arkansas? Well, here's a question that I ask you. What other state is doing anything? What is Maine doing? What is Florida doing? What is Wyoming doing? What is Arizona doing? Oh, wait, what is Illinois doing? The state that contains Chicago, where most of these immigrant trucking companies and immigrant truckers are coming from? What about the state of California, which houses cities like Los Angeles, where a large amount of these trucking companies, these illegal immigrant trucking companies, are being based out of with false CDLs that don't even have their name and address on their CDLs? What is California doing? What about Ohio? What about Minnesota? What are those states doing? Everybody wants to point the finger and say, Arkansas didn't do enough. In my mind, Arkansas is the only state that's done any damn thing. Show me a state that's done anything whatsoever. You won't find one because nobody is doing anything. At least the state of Arkansas has got the balls to stand up to the ATA. At least the state of Arkansas has got the balls to stand up to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and says they're your own rules. Why don't you enforce them? And lastly, probably the most important thing is Arkansas has got the balls to stand up to the mega carriers. And I want to remind you, some of the largest mega carriers in the United States of America is based in the state of Arkansas. To me, kind of sounds like Arkansas is playing a fair game. Kind of sounds like to me Arkansas is doing the right thing. What's Nebraska doing? What's Texas doing? What's Louisiana doing? Hey, Tennessee, do you have your ears on over there? What are you doing? I don't see any other states standing up. For my book, in my mind, at least Arkansas is doing something. All the rest of you is sitting on your hands. Do you not see how many deaths are being racked up due to these illegal immigrant truck drivers? Hey, Amazon, why don't you speak out about them? Oh no, if we speak out about them, then we won't have anybody to haul our freight. Yeah, right. At least Arkansas has a game. At least they have a game plan. Maybe some of you other states should take Arkansas's point of view here Maybe introduce something into your state's law that mimics or mirrors what the state of Arkansas is doing. As I've said on this channel since day one, that's what it's going to take to change trucking. Convoys don't work. They don't work. Oh, we'll shut trucking down for a week. That'll teach them. Are you stupid? Shutting trucking down is not going to work. Convoys are not going to work. All of us getting together and standing with each other with one voice and pushing back and saying, no, we're not going to take it anymore. That's what's going to change it. Today I'm proud to be a truck driver. Today I'm proud to be an Arkansas-based truck driver. At least we're standing up and pushing back and saying enough is enough. Maybe you truck drivers should get with your state representatives and tell them that you've had enough as well. After all the state of Arkansas has been through here lately, with all the tornadoes, the epic flooding, with everything that's going on, they come out of nowhere and they stand up for the American truck driver. Maybe you should too. That's all I've got for today. You guys look out for each other. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. We will catch you on the next one.